Okay, so and this basically this is just to go through and show how to improve listings when you've copied and pasted from a retailer and any retailer. Okay, so um, sometimes we'll want to make, well, usually you'll want to change the title and make sure that you're making your own title, but perhaps even more important in the beginning here is we don't want any of these links. So anywhere you see blue text, that's going to be a link. Okay. So let's just assume I'm copying this from the retail site. If I were to copy that, and we'll go over here into a listing that I have started, and if I just paste it into that listing, so there you can see that we have links here, right? And so it's obvious there. Now, we could go, one option is just go into the HTML, and of course that looks like a mess. If you don't read HTML, it doesn't help, right? So if you want to use the HTML, what I would suggest is just click HTML to start and then paste it in there like that. And then what you can do is where we have paragraphs and stuff, we could enter down and put some kind of a, you know, maybe 3 capital D's or 4 or whatever, and do that after the title. And because once we paste it in here and then go back to standard, it's going to strip everything out. And so that way we can look at this and say, oh, well, there's my first set of capital D's. So this is my, you know, before that is my title. After that is my description. So we just press enter, get rid of those D's. And then we look for the next one. Oh, there's an easy one to spot. There's our next D's. So we highlight that and just press enter. So all I did was, if you remember back in the HTML, I typed those D's wherever I wanted to make a break, right? And so now I come into the standard and it stripped all of that HTML, which also strips the links. And so then we guarantee that we're not going to have any links in there where we don't want them. Okay? And so then we can format this. And you've got a few different little tools here, but if you look over to the right side there on this, you'll see this advanced editing. You always want to click that and then look at what it gives you. All of these options open up. And you've got quite a bit more that you can do with this. And so we could come in now and say, okay, well, this was our title, so let's bold that and center it. Oops, I don't want to, I'm going to Control Z that because I don't want to center everything. I just want to center that title. So let's see if we can get it to center just the title. Nope, it wants to center everything. All right, what if we highlight that and go back? There we go. So now we've got this back to the left, and we got that centered. Now I also remember these were bullet points, right? And so we want to make those bullet points. Well, look, right here we have a bullet point list, so we can click on bullets, and that starts the bullet points. Then we just have to enter down on each one. So then we got to go in and read it and decide where does the next bullet start and the last one end. And of course we could go back to our retailer and look at that. But you can usually guess pretty easy because the sentences will start with a capital and then be lowercase. And so right here where we have a new capital start, we'll just press enter. Harness booster, high back booster, backlist booster. So I'm guessing those, oh, that's all one. And then simply safe. Yeah, so see, we just look for that next capital. Boom. Adjustable harness system is safe and simple. I think engineered is the next one. So engineered and crash tested to meet or exceed U.S. standard. FMVSS 213 steel reinforced frame. I think that's probably, oh, nope, that's the standard. Okay, so steel reinforced frame is the next place. So yeah, we can just go back and forth here. It might be easier. Available in Fern. Okay, now this right here, Fern, Sylvia, or Soli, that's like design patterns or colors. We're not going to mess with that right now, okay? We don't want to do anything with color variations or size variations early on eBay. So I wouldn't mess with doing anything quantity or variations until you've listed over 300 items, okay? by that point, you've got enough items up there, you're expert enough at listing on eBay, it's okay to start learning those new things. But right now, we're going to just delete that, backspace, get rid of that bullet, and we're going to leave it at this. Okay? Now, the next thing we want to do is let's go in here and make sure there's no mention of the retail store, because Walmart sometimes might put in, you know, great prices here at Walmart or something like that, or whatever they're going to put in. So we want to make sure that we're not copying any of that over. So we'll read through it real careful, and I'm just kind of scanning really here, but this looks like it's just a general description for the product. All right, now this right here with that colon, that makes me say, you know, that's probably the header to these bullet points there. And so we probably want to put that down on its own row and maybe bold that. All right, and there we go. Okay. So there we've got our formatted details, and then we can go ahead and scroll down and complete the listing and click list the item, because now we know we've cleaned it up. Okay. So to do that, what you'll do is I just want to show you real quick how to change that. So you'll come into your eBay Seller Hub. Most of us are on Seller Hub now, I think, so this video should be relevant to everybody watching. But you come into Listings and Active, and to make those changes, we just come down next to whichever item we want to edit, and under the Actions drop-down, we can click Edit. And that will take you into that item to actually make the changes that need to be made. Okay? Okay, so to review, easiest way to copy this stuff from the retail side is you'll highlight, copy, and then we'll come over here to HTML and paste it into there. And then everywhere that you want to separate, see, we can see the formatting here, but if we go back to standard, it's going to strip all that formatting, and so we're not going to see it anymore. So right after the title up here, we can put in some kind of characters. I mean, it can be asterisks, okay, or it can be the 3 or 4 capital D's in the road. Something that's going to be easy and obvious to see. And then we're going to come here and say, all right, I want one right here. Let's do the D's there, and I'll show you the difference. And then we want one here. Okay, and then if we go back to standard, see, it's easy to see those asterisks, and it's fairly easy to recognize the D's as well, so we can go in and make whatever adjustment we want on that. Okay, so what I have done with my listings, and mine are a little different from you, because I don't do drop ship. I handle all my products, and so my products are all coming from surplus lots where I'm buying surplus, which I did just recently, just yesterday actually. It's getting picked up for me today from a friend of mine that works near there, and I've got a bunch of items. In fact, I'll just go show you just real quick, because I think it'll make sense to do that. Let's go back here. So these are the items that I won from that auction yesterday. A box of Body Shop Satsuma shower and lotion gift set. I paid $20 for that. Way too much, because I paid $11 for another one of the exact same thing. So that tells me if I ever decide to bid on these again, I can probably get them for $11. And in fact, a similar set down here, a little bit different, I got for $7. So that way I know, okay, if I go back, I'm not going to bid 20 or 11 or 12 or 15. I'm going to go ahead and bid 7 or 8 on some boxes and get those cheap. However, there's 6 in each box. They're brand new, and they're worth $20 to $25 a piece. So, it's worth $100 to me for each one. So $20 is not bad to pay for that. But anyway, that's what I have to put in. And so since I do surplus, when I go and create my listings, I take this is a template that I have in my Google Docs, and I'll highlight all of that, and I'll go in and paste that into my item. And that has a little bit of notes on my best offer policies, my shipping policies, my payment policies, my returns, my contact us, all those details are there. And so that's something that I just created by looking at other sellers. If you go out on eBay, and I'm going to just save this for later and I'll show you. Just go out to eBay and do a search for any item, like let's say that Graco car seat item, like one that we were just looking at. And so if we come into any one of these items here, we can look at what these individuals have done with their listing. And so see here, they've got a big title like that, and then they've got a product details section, they've got a payment section, they've got a shipping section, they've got a return policy section. You can just build your own template similar to what I've done. That's what I did, is I just looked at these and I said, oh, okay, well, I'll say something similar to that and put it in my own words. I'll say something similar to that and put it in my own words, and something similar to that. And you can do whatever you want and look at multiples, but then save that somewhere, preferably in a Google Docs or a notepad, somewhere that doesn't do formatting. Microsoft Word is horrible because if you copy it from there, it's going to bring over all the back-end formatting, and when you get into that HTML, it'll be a mess, and it can sometimes cause problems with browsers. But if you're pulling it from Google Docs or from just a simple text editing software that doesn't do all that formatting, then you don't have to worry about that formatting. And mine actually does. I have some formatting. It comes over with this in bold and centered and this bold and colored and centered, but it doesn't have all the latent nasty code that Microsoft does in the back, so it doesn't cause problems. So Google Docs is a great way to do it, okay? So for Google Docs, you just go into your Gmail account and look right up here at this little Google Apps box. Click on that, and you've got all these options within Google Docs, or within Google, that you have access to just by having a Gmail account, okay? And so for Docs, you go to Drive, and you click on that Drive icon there. And when that opens up, you've got all your docs here. Now, yours, if you haven't used it, yours won't have all of these folders and content. You'll just go here to New, and you'll be able to just click it here and do a new Google Docs, and it'll open up a doc that you can create. And it's just like this. It's just like any Word document, and you've got all the tools up here. And so it's really nice, and you can save documents there in your Google Drive, and anytime you want to access them, you just go to your Gmail account and go over here and click on that little app square and go to Drive, and you've got them all there. Okay? So very helpful. I use that all the time, so that's something that if you're not familiar with it, you ought to start using it. It's very valuable. So. And free, you know, it doesn't cost anything to set up a Gmail account, and all of that just comes free with Gmail. So, okay.